My story. Who am I? Right. Hey everybody, it's Carrie from KRLC Studio here. Welcome back to my channel. I am going to go on a journey with you and explain to you my story, who I am. So first of all, I am a mother of two grown children. One of my children, my son, is married now, so I technically have three grown children now, and they're completely awesome, and I love them. I am also married to my very best friend. He is awesome. He's crazy, just like me, so we fit really well. And I not only love him, I really like him too, because he's just insane. I'm also a Christian, and I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and that's a big part of who I am as well. I am also a teacher, and I love creative journaling. I quilt. I also do applique designs and anything in between. So I love all of that stuff. So talking about my schooling, where did I learn all of this good stuff? I went to the Alberta College of Art and Design in 1989 when I graduated high school. And my intention was to go there to actually become a graphic artist because as a child, I drew and I drew and I drew every night, and I loved drawing. But then when I got there, I had this amazing drawing teacher. He knew my intentions to go into graphic design, and he said, "You will hate it." Because at this time in 1989, there was no such thing as computers as we know them today. There was no YouTube, there was no Photoshop, there was none of that. It was all like very basic DOS kind of stuff. There was the internet in the infancy, but nothing like we have today. Not even YouTube. So I decided to go into textiles and major in textiles. And textiles, when I say textiles, it's not fashion and design. It was more fiber arts, making your own paper, dyeing fabric, using natural dyes and chemical dyes, doing silk screening, making your own. It was basically a majoring in mixed media. That's basically what it is, because everything that I learned in school, I'm doing now as a creative journalist. So I learned how to do all of that, and it was an awesome experience. And I graduated from that in 1994. For me to have sell my own work online was really not heard of. Back then when I graduated, there was no internet as we know today. So there wasn't the website design and platforms that we have today. There was no Shopify, there was no Etsy, there was no, Facebook, there was none of that. So I decided to go back to school and become a receptionist. And so I went to school that trained me how to do that for like 6 months, and I did that. And I worked in odd jobs. Some jobs I really enjoyed. Some were really difficult because people that I worked for and worked with were not the kindest people on the planet. And but there were some companies that I absolutely loved working with people. The people were amazing. Yeah. So in the mid 90s, I created a website using a program that my husband at the time bought was called Namo Web Editor. I laugh at it now because it's just so easy to do this now, but back then you had to figure that out, like literally. So I used this program to create, and I didn't need to know any HTML to do it. And I created my own website, and I wanted to create my own graphic or clip art. And so I did that, and it was called Carrie's Collectibles. At the time, my husband and I decided to create a chore chart maker software that people could buy, download, and use for their children. And he did the back end. He did all the technical stuff, and I created the graphics and the images for it. So, and it did pretty good. It did kind of well, and then it just kind of fell apart. Got divorced, and I moved back down to southern Alberta. And so at the time, by the time this happened, this was 2010, and I was a receptionist, and I had done things with my work. I got interested in doing quilting, and I love quilting, applique design. I also do that. But I knew that I needed something more to support my family. So I went back to university. I went to the University of Lethbridge, and I got my combined degrees. I got my BA and I got my BEd in education, and I majored in art education. So I did that for 4 years. Went through 3 summers of summer school just to get it done within 4 years instead of 5. Worked my butt off. Like I've never worked so hard in my entire life. But it was really, really rewarding. And I miss going to school. I miss conversations. I miss the discussions. I miss the learning. I miss the growing, that type of thing on that academic level. So I graduated from that in 2014. Tried my hand at teaching for a while. That was really rocky for me. And my whole entire life, the point of this is my whole entire life is that I've just wanted to create my work, to get it out there and to inspire and to educate and to help people. All throughout this whole time, I was trying to start up a business, and it wouldn't go because I had to take full time to support my family. And it was an ambition that I've always had in my entire life. Ever since I was 10, I've always wanted to be an artist. So creating KRLC Studio was an ambition of mine, and I've tried before, but I really wanted to make sure and give this a good go. So my husband now has a job that he kind of can support us, but I wanted to do something. I wanted to contribute something and contribute an income that could really help us, but also that I could finally get all of these thoughts in my head down and create them as products and sell them and as a service to you. So the KRLC, that's actually the initials of my name. So my full name is Carrie Ray Lee Crawford. So I use the initials KRLC of my name and then studio. So that's where KRLC Studio comes from. So let's get into the dirt, right? I wanted to tell you 5 secrets about myself that you may not know. In fact, I probably guess that you don't know. So my first secret is that you don't know about me is that in grades 6 and 7, there was an art contest that our forestry school in our town put out to all the schools. And so we had to draw a picture depicting about forestry and how we could save the forest and what we could do to recycle and replenish the forest. So I did that, and for 2 years they had done that. So in grade 6 and 7, I created this poster and thought it was really great. And unbeknownst to me, I won first place. And both times, so in grade 6 and grade 7, I won first place. And the amazing thing about it was that the prize was an hour-long helicopter ride over the mountains. I grew up about 45 minutes away from Jasper National Park. And so both years, so all of us kids kind of went up in this helicopter, and it was an amazing, and we took pictures, and it was really awesome. So that was 2 years. I won 2 years in a row. And I went on a helicopter ride twice. So it was awesome. It was very exciting as a child. It was like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. So the second secret that I have is in the summer of 1990, I worked in Banff as a chambermaid. So I would clean the rooms, and it was a pretty awesome summer because I was basically living right there in the mountains, and I grew up in the mountains, and so to me it was paradise. It was a wonderful experience, and I really enjoyed it. Secret number 3 that you may not know about me is that in the following summers when I was in college, I worked at Cardinal River Coal. It's not called that anymore. It was bought out by another company. But my father had worked as electrical supervisor. They were having this program for the men who worked there, offering jobs during the summer to their children who were already in post-secondary education, and that was me. So I worked at the coal mine with my dad. He worked in a different place, and I worked at the plant, the processing plant, and I used to load trains full of coal, and that's what I did. And there were some nights that was not fun. It was 12-hour shifts. The last summer I worked there, my last month, I worked 11 nights in a row, and it was 12-hour shifts. It was really, really good money, and I did that for 2 summers in a row. Just working for 4 months set me up for the entire year of school. I could pay my tuition, I could live, I could rent, I could buy whatever I wanted to buy. It was really good money. It was a big blessing to my parents because they were helping me financially at the time. So for 2 years, they didn't have to pay anything. It was awesome. So that was an experience. It was an experience. The 4th secret that you may not know is that I used to teach in a private college. I used to teach adults. It was for a very short time. However, the administrators there really were impressed with my teaching skills, and I loved my students. They were amazing, amazing people. And so later on, we had to move, and so that's why I couldn't stay on to work with them. But they had called me and contracted me to create their entire educational assistant course program. So the whole kit and caboodle. So me being a teacher, I knew how to do that, and I was able to do that. And it took a few months, but it was a huge education for me, and I really enjoy doing that. I love creating and planning more than I do the teaching part of it. So I guess that's why I've always created these journals to sell on my store, because I like the creation of it. I can teach. People have said I'm a really good teacher, but I enjoy more of the back end, the creating, the designing, that type of thing. So they hired me to do that. They paid me to do that, and they're still using that course design for their students today. So the 5th secret that you may not know about me is I hate cats. I can't stand cats. So I'm allergic to cats, but that's not why I don't like them. I just don't like cats, like at all. So if you have a kitty, it's okay. You love your kitty, you love your baby, your furry baby. But I just have never, ever had the desire to have one, pet one, be with one, have one in my home. No. Of course, if you're thinking of dogs, that's a different story because I adore dogs. So I'm a dog person, not a cat person. My dislike of cats has nothing against those out there of you who love your kitties. That's not what it's about. It's just I don't prefer cats. So there you go. There's the secret. So as a promotion for this video for today, I wanted to promote my book. And one of my books is Freedom from Unquenchable Doubt. And this is a journal that I made. And I will leave a link in my shop. This book is for people who struggle with mental health. So I made this book for my sister. My sister has struggled with bipolar all her life. I wanted to provide something for her or create something for her that would help her through her mental storms that she has, because she deals with a lot with depression and that type of thing. I myself deal with depression. I also have depression. I've never been diagnosed with bipolar, but there are times, it overwhelms me. So I created the book for her because I wanted her to have a resource to go to help her through those storms. And that's what this is. So this is available in my shop. I will leave the link to it below so that you can go through it and see the flip through, because I have a flip through of what it looks like inside. So that is kind of me in a nutshell. I mean, obviously there's more to me, but I hope you like this video. I'm going to try really hard to try to put out a video once a week. So I'm going to try really hard. I know my time is really limited, and I'm working on creating an online course right now, and working on creating Litter Brush issue number 2, which I'm really excited about. It's just the time thing. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video and you know a little bit more about me, and we will check you later.